welcome back. Welcome back to another conversation. Welcome back to another vertical live stream, which is something new that I'm trying out on YouTube specifically. I might bring it elsewhere too. I might also do these on Instagram, which I think will be more integrated anyways. But since I've been doing live streams for so long on YouTube, I thought I would reward my community in a way and give priority here. Hi, Ozzy. Nice to see you, man. I hope we can catch up next week, hopefully. It would be great. Oz is, of course, one of my old friends here in this community and one of my frequent collaborators whenever I'm actually live. And yeah, it's fantastic. Finally, I will get to meet him in person, which is always, I think, quite exciting. You know, when you build these kinds of friendships exclusively online on social media, and you can actually build on that affinity, on that kinship into something more. Vianouche, nice to see you as well. Bonsoir, Genève. It's nice to see people logging in, communicating from all over the world. You guys know the format. This is something that I do very casually, occasionally to answer questions that come up on Instagram. Sometimes people send them to my DMs. Sometimes they send them to my comments when I make a particular post. And I don't always answer them right then and there. And there's a very specific reason for that. I believe in moderation, not only in that Aristotelian sense, but also in the more disciplined way where I like having conversations on posts that actually relate to those posts, that will actually enrich our knowledge, our help us educate each other, help us enhance a particular conversation. That's why I usually, this is one of the comments and questions that I get. That's why I usually delete some comments from certain posts on Instagram, not because of anything malicious or anything that comes out of bad faith, but because I want to keep things focused. On that note, Ozzy, yes, StreamYard can do both. And StreamYard, I just discovered this, but I had already set up this live with well in advance. But apparently, I can just use my laptop to do vertical live streams. I had no idea. I just have to do the settings on StreamYard where it's can arrange a vertical live stream. So in fact, I can do vertical and broadcast to both, basically, or I can even create two distinct live streams, you know, set the phone one way where that would stream vertical and set the computer or another webcam the other way where it would stream vertically. Amazing, amazing. That's that's the other thing. My favorite post ever, and it's one of my most liked posts on Instagram, is this composition I did on the reverso that was worn in the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, right? The one that Christian Bale wore as Bruce Wayne. And, you know, I like to keep these things in a narrative format where it would, again, you know, become the kind of timeless content rather than just two, three lines of writing that says, hey, how cool is that this guy is wearing that watch? Right? I try not to do that. So in this particular post, I start with the story with talking about how it was the costume department in Batman Forever who chose Reverso as a watch for Val Kilmer's Batman, and how it kind of acts like a proto smartwatch, right, where he can communicate with people, and especially to Alfred on the flip side of the Reverso. Because I thought it was cool, because it's because it puts things in context to then understand why the Reverso kept coming back as the watch that represents on the sphere of horology the duality of Bruce Wayne and Batman. But the most consistent comment I get there, and I try to explain myself each time, and I try to negotiate with people, it's like, it's not Batman Forever. It just tells you how illiterate most people are. I know it's not Batman Forever. I know more about Batman possibly than the 90% of the populace, and I don't say this proudly. I'm just a dork. I'm a nerd. It's not. Do a backflip and get $100. Honestly, I would, but I can't. Again, sort of. We all have our red lines, right? We all have our boundaries, but when it comes to making money, I have very little. Obviously, this is my passion, obviously, but this is not a hobby for me. So I obviously do it for the money, and I have no problem with that. Earning money by educating people, by entertaining people, is absolutely fine. Which brings me to my other question. While you are at it, please hit the like button. How do you upvote? You mean on the... I don't think it's just... Yeah, I am just yapping. And if you don't like it, you can just get the fuck out of my lawn. That's absolutely correct. Those who want to listen will keep coming back. Those who don't like it can just get the fuck out. Which brings me to my second point, and the second most frequent question that I get. And obviously, I like getting these questions in the DMs, and there's a reason that DMs are open. Hey, Quetzalcoatl, nice to see you. Thank you so much. And yes, we have a goal. I'm only going to yap for about 30 minutes, and if I get 5 super chats of $5 or more, I am actually extend that to a whole hour. So feel free to contribute to that. Coming back to that point, I keep the DMs open on Instagram because it's an easy way to communicate, and a very fast and efficient way of communicating with people. And I don't write watch consultant on that profile, on that Instagram profile, just because. I do professionally consult people on their watch collections. I help them get that next watch, whether it's just a single discrete purchase or as part of a larger collection. I curate collections for people from scratch. So obviously, I welcome all sorts of questions on that front. But increasingly, I see this idea of people reaching out, communicating with me, asking questions, and expecting answers for free, which, I find amusing at a certain level. I never, even with friends, I don't harass my lawyer friends, my doctor friends, and my, I don't know, my physician friends, my psychologist friends, whatever else, accountants. I can multiply the examples. I don't harass them with questions and expect them to do their work for free, expect them to practice their profession for free. So if you want me to help you get a watch or assess your collection or answer specific questions that you have that are watch related, or maybe not, maybe you have some other interesting question that I can help you with, please please expect to contribute in some way to the health and longevity of these platforms, because again, I do it out of my passion, I do it out of my knowledge, but I don't do it out of the goodness of my heart, right? It's not a hobby. An extra six. I don't know how to manipulate these things, Aussie. I do have it in front of me, but as people continue calling me Unk, so from minus 30, I adjusted to minus 24. If you find any changes, if you hear better or worse, please let me know. And Thomas Burnett, it's so nice to see you. But I'm glad you find the audio fine as well. Another thing, yes, if a lot of people again reach out and send me pictures and send me photos of celebrities, of historical figures with a certain watch, and then they feel some kind of way when I say, hey, this is not really the kind of content for me, this is not really for me, I don't think I will post on this. And then they feel offended about it. Look, I have no problem again taking suggestions. Out of 10 things that come my way, 2 of them are brilliant, and I do want to use them. Obviously, I always craft a narrative from scratch. If necessary, I source other pictures, different pictures, higher quality pictures. So, and search around and identify that watch more historically, more specifically. But again, it has to hit the profile of the page. And that's something that I've discovered, right? I still post twice a day. That's been the pattern for the last 4 months. I still post twice a day on Instagram. I still post on whatever I want, whatever my heart desires. However, I also have analytics, right? So I can see which posts do well, which posts don't do that well. And there's a particular genre, there's a particular niche that is already emerging. I still want to keep things interesting, diverse. I don't want to be captured by that small niche necessarily, but I'm still quite mindful of what I post. So as much as I welcome your comments, as much as I want to respond to your comments, to your suggestions, to your demands, even for different kinds of content, as long as you are not paying me to post something like that, I will keep posting my own because that's what brings me more viewers, and that's my path to actually monetization on Instagram and beyond. By the way, just while we are at it, please hit the like button. We do have an established goal as well, but likes, comments, and any other contributions are perhaps the most important thing for these casual conversations. Thomas Burnett, 199. Thank you. Top 3 independent watchmakers right now. As a kind of joke, as a meme, and you guys know I'm really not very funny. I don't have a great sense of humor, but once every so often I will try my best. And I made this Mount Rushmore of living independent watchmakers on Instagram as a post. And at that time, my account got zero attention. No one really checked it out. But even within that, within that obscurity, that post was quite successful. So I basically, with my Photoshop skills, got Mount Rushmore and put portraits of 4 independent watchmakers who were Recep Recepi, François Pourgeon, Kari Voutilainen, and Philippe Dufort. Now, that's more in the realm of canonization, popularity, recognizability. All of these features are very important, and it doesn't necessarily reflect what I consider to be top 3. And I'm not saying this from an objective standpoint, right? I'm not trying to say these are the best and the rest I don't really care about, neither should you. For my taste, if I was in a position to be allocated watches or buy these kinds of watches, I would say still Kari Voutilainen would be probably my first choice. I would really love to get one of his watches eventually. That's one of my midterm goals, let's say. So that I would still put at the top of that list. I would actually put Romain Gauthier right up there as well. I really like his C, the model that first came out as the Continuum, his sports watch, so to speak. Not that I don't appreciate some of his more complicated pieces, but now that I think off the top of my mind in terms of kind of like sub-collection, I guess, of independent watches, I would get Kari Voutilainen 28. I would get Romain Gauthier C in titanium on the bracelet. And I would probably want Greubel Forsey, their Carbon S2. I think those are incredible watches. Again, very sporty, very wearable on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, they cost a fortune. And I think that particular genre is not even a realistic aspiration for me. But if I were ever to make that kind of tax bracket, I think that would be certainly one of the first watches that I would get. Um, as a wild card, Ferdinand Berthoud, uh, I like their current collection, just about everything in their current collection. And I know they're constantly working on new things as well, so I would put that in as a wild card there. I hope that answered your question and gave you some value for the money, Thomas. You know, I always appreciate you again in either case, but contributions are much appreciated. We are still 4 $5 super chats away from that larger goal of extending the conversation to a full hour. But again, I'm here at least for another 10. ABNS 92 says that was an amazing post. I remember some of us early birds had fun on that Rushmore post. Yeah, it got some attention. Again, it's really funny. You know, and I know I'm just giving free game right now, but it's okay, you know, because you need the ideas and you need the execution of those ideas, and you need the kind of consistency and discipline that I have to replicate any measure of that success. But I've always posted the same kind of content on Instagram. It's been 3 years. I always create the same kind of content on Instagram, and on YouTube. But you really got to pay attention and pay respect to the particular medium. You have to, you don't have to follow trends, but you have to figure out what kind of posts, what kind of content are they privileging on that platform? Are they pushing on that platform? What kind of content are they pushing to you? That's not necessarily sponsored and paid content, but the kind of content that's fed to you by the algorithm. And then you got to find ways of presenting that content, presenting perhaps the same kind of content that you've always done in that new format, in that way that respects the medium, and somehow it starts picking up, it starts flying off even. Goldfinger, man, it's so nice to see you, man. Lovely. I was, again, you know, speaking of getting to meet people in person after, you know, months and years of establishing a kind of sustained conversation with them. This is Goldfinger is one of the people, and again, like, you know, I just genuinely love and admire his style, and it really befits the image that would resonate with that nickname as well, Goldfinger. OC, thank you for the upvotes, and keep those upvotes coming if you haven't already. Those matter a lot, and they really do help. And yes, as OC is reminding you, you can also support the channel by becoming a member, which will give you access to exclusive content. And who knows, maybe some of these kinds of streams, as I get back to my regular schedule, will become members only. So that's always an option to keep in mind. And minimally, you will have supported a channel that is giving you content on a consistent basis on Instagram, on YouTube, and possibly beyond. You will have facilitated the production, the creation of that kind of content. You will have enabled me to do that more frequently. Thomas Burnett, following up with his earlier question, says, great picks for the independents. At the moment, I love John and Stephen McGonigal. Nice. Ludovic Balloir. I love Ludovic Balloir as well. I like his very unique and playful approach to the jump hour complication, I think it was that collaboration he did with his own son was laughable and unnecessary, right? I don't think we as collectors, watch fans, enthusiasts should be put in a position to judge, evaluate a child's design work. So I think that that was just a ridiculous move. I understand the enthusiasm of a parent. I understand his commitment, love, and compassion for Quetzalcoatl. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really, really do appreciate you. Yes, I understand all of that, and at the end of the day, I respect them as a father, even though I am not one, and I can't really relate to him on that basis. But I don't think the collector should be put in that position. I mean, from the opposite perspective, remember before all the controversies that came up about the Only Watch auction, where Patek was contributing a piece as well. And because they were waiting for Philippe Stern's birthday to reveal the actual piece, they had just sent the case back, which I thought was cool, and only the kind of move that Patek can only get away with. But when they revealed the watch, and there was literally a portrait of Philipp Stern on what was otherwise an incredibly aspirational and high-level, complicated piece, honestly, I didn't know what to do with it. Again, I understand I'm not the audience of that piece. Even if I actually liked it and wanted to acquire it, I would never be allocated that piece. But in a way, I find it disrespectful. I mean, it's one thing to commit to the bit. I know the Generations campaign. I know that beautiful pose of Thierry Stern and Philipp Stern from their offices, looking out as father and son, imagining, future generations of Stern taking over the company. That's beautiful. Again, I very strongly associate with the sentiment of wanting to honor one's father. But there must have been a more discreet way. And I found that actually very disrespectful to the collectors to have to buy a watch like that with a dial like that. Anyway, but that's just me. Hajime Asoka, I would love to have a tsunami, and I actually, when it comes to Hajime-san, I actually really respect his brand Chrono Tokyo too. I know it's a completely different price point. I know it's a very different even design aesthetic, but I love the fact that he keeps going. He has at least 2 or 3 drops, maybe 4 every year, and they're all different from each other. They're all produced only in that limited number, never to come back, all in a way, for that reason, special. I don't want to use all these other words that we have completely abused in Watch Talk. So I really like Hajime-san, and I would love to have one of his watches one day. All right, we are past the half-hour mark that I have set for myself. We didn't hit the super chat goal, and that's completely fine, but that also means I'll have to leave now. I do promise you that both these vertical live streams and my usual long form, very, very long form live streams are coming back. So please support the channel, contribute in any way you can, here or in the links I provide below, in any of the ways that YouTube makes it possible for you: super chat, super thanks, stickers, gems, memberships. I do make a living out of this, so it is really appreciated. You are literally helping me survive. I don't like being vulnerable in front of the camera, but there you go, I've said it. But if nothing else, please hit the like button. That already is plenty of help. I will see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, wear and enjoy your watches. Goodbye.